Welcome to the Market Mindset. We are the hub for news, results, and CEO interviews focusing the junior commodities sector. We provide market analysis and perspective that will help position you for solid returns. If that sounds like something you're interested in, you can help support us by liking this video, subscribing to our channel, and clicking the notification bell. For more info, you can visit our website. All links are in the description below. Now let's get into today's video.
Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to the Market Mindset, where we position you ahead of the curve to look at sectors, themes, and areas and stocks specifically that have a real good chance, especially in this chaotic market going ahead. Today, we're going to have a little bit more fun. We're going to keep it a bit lighter because, Jerome Powell just told us there's a bit more pain to come here in Jackson's Hole when they're talking about inflation. No surprise. So we figured there was nothing that there was going to come out of that was going to be earth-shatteringly optimistic, and I wouldn't have believed it even if they tried. So we thought let's have something a bit more fun and just kind of round that out out of just interest. You can see Macron was on as well, TV pitching the kind of "we're all in this together" meme, where everyone's going to have to struggle and go through pain and endure all these things, and we're all going to have to take less and less and less, basically because they want to push their green initiative. That's kind of the basis of it. So we talked about that before. They were going to do the same thing that they did with COVID. With this, is that we're all in this together, and make no mistake, there's nothing. This is all political theater. A lot of these things you could still do the green shift, transition properly, and do it in a reasonable way that could have been done. So there's something else going on in any event. And we always find that interesting with the worst drought in 500 years in Europe. And yet they're still creating food issues and problem and cutting fertilizer usage. Come on. It doesn't take a lot of critical thinking to find that a bit strange.
It's the cost of providing freedom in Ukraine. That's just what it is.
Yes, that's the meme too. Is like this is the cost of freedom, and I think most people at this point are kind of like, I'm not interested in your idea of freedom, because it is this extreme left idea of freedom is authoritarianism, and that's I'm not interested in. So interesting times. So we thought with all of that, let's look at a bit of fun stuff to keep things light. Because listen, if we can't have some laughs, it makes all the gloomy stuff that much more gloomy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you follow the show, we like to do this from time to time. We'll pull up some funny stories or some interesting different things to look at that are outside of kind of our normal viewpoint or normal scope. So where do you want to kick this off here, Andrew?
You know what? Let's go to the heart, or go right to the GameStop.
Go right.
We'll work our way into Wall Street bets, but let's go GameStop first.
So this, obviously, for anyone who's listened to us before, we've talked about some meme stocks in the past. We obviously covered the GameStop thing when it was happening. We kind of stayed away from the recent meme stock push because we've had some other stuff going on. But Bed Bath & Beyond,
yes,
little known company, had a bit of a run. But my favorite thing about the meme stocks in general is just it's these hilarious companies. It's GameStop. It's a place that people hadn't been to since 2005. It's Bed Bath & Beyond. It's a a home essentials store. Is the next one going to be Winners? Like what's going on here? Yeah. But Bed Bath & Beyond had a hell of a month. Shares flew up over 350% over the peak of the frenzy. The stock is still currently up, at least as of the last time I looked, around 75% up. So that's a pretty good month. Now, what exactly is going on? Well, it's a little different than the GameStop thing. There isn't necessarily the massive short float that was out there with GameStop, but similar kind of way to GameStop is this garnered attention from the Wall Street Bets kind of community, the apes and the to the moon crowd, and they grabbed on and held on for dear life.
I always, it's funny, but it is just this is the power of how like a forum, like when you've got like Telegram or you've got these apps where you have like say a ton of subscribers, you can move markets pretty quickly. Now, is there anything real with this though? Like the GameStop, there was actually a real thesis, or is this just more sheer memeage? Like,
I think it's a bit more memeage. I think there was from at least from the short side of things. I know like there's been a cash burn problem with the company and stuff like that. So there were legitimate reasons for why people saw it not being successful. But I believe a bunch of the kind of hype behind it was this activist community getting in behind it and boosting it up as they always do. And Ryan Cohen, who's a large investor who was involved in the GameStop thing as well. He was in Bed Bath & Beyond for a bit. He did end up selling his stake for almost 180 million last week. So he took some money. He had a big win with this, took some money off the table. That's probably what caused it to start spiraling downwards. But it's not going to have the same kind of run or excitement that GameStop did. But it's always intriguing to see. Okay, what company is going to be next? Like, is it going to be Winners? Is it going to be HomeSense? Like, where are we going to be looking for the next great meme stock? And I'll go there with you in a minute here.
Well, and so I guess that can lead into the next one. And this is right from CNBC. Think the meme stock mania of 2021's over. Look at AMTD Digital.
Yes.
So this is a Hong Kong-based fintech company. Tell us a little bit more about that one.
So, we've talked about IPOs before. There's some companies we really like that IPO'd. This company IPO'd at $7.80 in middle of July. The stock is up 21,000%.
That's reasonable.
To a share price of $1,679. It was the most mentioned ticker tag on Wall Street Bets chat room on Tuesday this week. I believe it was that again on Wednesday. I haven't looked to see what it was at yesterday, but it's having a little bit of a tear.
Yeah, that's parabolic right there.
Yeah. If we scroll down a little here on this article, you'll see the chart of the AMTD to the moon chart. And man, I would love to see some other stocks go on the run that this one has, because it is that's vertical integration there, my friend. That is straight up.
Yeah. Look at that! Wow.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Now that's the chart you want to see.
Yeah.
I should preface that that's the chart you want to see if you're trading, not if you're investing at all. That's a nightmare right there.
if you were in that IPO, I certainly hope you took
you no longer have anything,
because at some point this is going to come. Because I mean, this company, a recently IPO'd company. Now it sounds like they can do some interesting sort of things, and they see a majority of kind of what they do. Their revenue generation is fees and commissions from its digital financial services. But we're talking about a move that pushed this company to a market cap that was bigger than Coca-Cola.
Yeah, it's too much. It's
I don't
crazy.
know if they're going to be able to sustain a $300 billion market cap.
No, and it's. I mean, we're laughing, but that is it. And it really destroys a company too, because they can't. It's not like they're going to be able to go raise money at the new valuation, and it's going to get dumped at some point as well. So, especially as an IPO, a lot of management and a lot of these companies are locked in for like 3 years before they could sell anything as well. So they'd be sitting in their brokerage account like, oh my God, I'm a billionaire. And it's like, you can't act on any of that. So
you're not able to sell those until, December of 2023 or something like that.
Yeah. But I guess on paper, you can kind of walk around and go, I'm a billionaire. But it is, I mean, we're making light of something that is a little bit more serious. But when you live in this kind of state, of clown world, then this is what happens. And you know what? And I would normally scold people for doing this type of thing. But, if you want to look at leadership that we have across the board, it's the do what I say, not what I do. And it's the typical kind of stuff. And real leadership is by action. And we don't see any of that. There's none that you could look at and go, that's, or at least in power right now, that are doing what they should be doing if they actually believed in any of the stuff that they're preaching. But let's move on to a favorite in the crowd as well. And these ones, I mean, I love, and we'll pull up maybe a couple Jim Cramer memes. And we won't go too hard on him because poor Jim, he gets destroyed enough that he even calls out, like, kind of like asked for some sort of peace treaty from them. But they're not having any of it. They're so the Wall Street Bets crowd, they certainly like to pick on him a lot. And I mean, in all fairness, I would this guy went to Harvard. He had a hedge fund. He worked at Goldman Sachs. He's a smart guy. Now,
and he's been very successful over his career.
Hugely successful.
His show is the most watched business show in North America. So he's very successful. Yeah.
Yes. And I would hearken, like, for the last long while, even a decade, he's kind of there just to have an entertaining show. I mean, he gives advice, so he must be still licensed. So, or there's some way around it. And I wouldn't ever watch it to take any advice from him. He is wrong an awful lot, but he's at the behest of the sponsors of the show. I mean, he's on there and he has to deliver a message whether he likes it or not. And it's different than having a hedge fund. And he's obviously a very smart person, but I don't envy him. I mean, and if you're going on TV all the time and you're talking about a lot of these markets that, you know, I don't expect are going to do all that great, a lot of them for some time, it's got to be painful, but they're not giving him 1 inch. They're not. The next one is my favorite though. And you'll remember this from the Wolf of Wall Street, anyone who's watched it, but this meme kind of lays it all out there.
For anyone who's not familiar with the movie, it's a great scene where you know, the character is walking around and he's asking you know, people at this seminar for financial advice from a convicted felon to sell them a pen. That was the whole shtick, is sell me this pen. And the way that you get them to sell the pen is, hey, I need you to sign your name. Oh, well, you're going to need a pen to do that. But yeah, I think that I'd be much more inclined to buy it, because there's a great Twitter account here that I sent to you there this morning when we were laughing about this. It's the Inverse Cramer ETF. Now, this isn't an actual ETF that you can go out and buy, but these guys have a Twitter account. They've got a weekly newsletter, and all they do is bet based off of the opposite of whatever Jim Cramer has said. And some of the funny ones that I'd found on their Twitter were, you know, they were talking about, there's a tweet from him about a year ago, don't bet against the almighty euro. And for those of you that don't know, the euro dropped below $1 US last week. There was Jim Cramer expects June market lows to hold and mark the bottom. Well, we know that certainly didn't happen. So you know, it's a funny situation. To make light of it, out of a very serious situation. It's a funny way to look at a very serious situation, and poor Jim just can't catch a break. But even a broken clock is right twice a day. So he does have the occasional one that sticks, and it's obviously worked for him throughout his career.
Yeah. And there was a great one too, and we don't have it, but it's like a child who's crying and looks so upset. It's a very emotional photo. And it just says, like, oh, when Jim Cramer mentions the stock that you're holding the bag on that he's buying. So of course I had to then pull up, Cramer says there's a bull market in these 4 industries. And I thought, oh God, don't say the ones I'm in. So his 4, just so I can feel a little bit stressed here. Agriculture, which we're in. So he mentions Mosaic, Nutrien, John Deere. He mentions auto parts. AutoZone is his thing. I mean, auto parts, we're in auto parts really, but we're in the EV side of things. So we're in that whole technology side. Aerospace and defense, you know, big Raytheon, you know, if you're a big fan of war, that's the one to buy. And alternative energy. So listen, I mean, I'm terrified because I agree with him on a lot of these ones. But maybe his specific ones that he's mentioning, I don't know, because I mean, he's dealing with bigger market cap, huge companies, and that's a very different mindset than ours, which is certainly more speculative, aggressive, newer companies that are kind of lighting the market on fire. But I feel very strong moving forward with what we're in and what we're holding. And on that note, we will have out quite soon our kind of picks for fall. So,
yes.
Make sure you reach out to us for that. There's lots of interesting things happening. We've put some money into some deals that are going to be coming out in the fall. So we're very excited about that. So, we wanted to have a little bit of a laugh because it's also end of the month. And this is a time, especially in Canada, before school starts, before university, where everyone kind of gets out before Labor Day. It kind of stretches out over the next week to 10 days of spending time with family, getting out with friends, enjoying the last of the summer heat, and just getting somewhere to enjoy that. And so we didn't figure there'd be a ton of people live with us today. And also, why not have a bit of a message of fun and hope and excitement, especially whenever there's still, once again, a lot of negative out there. But hey, chins up, things can turn on a dime.
Grin and bear it, as they say. You gotta grin and bear it. But no,
we're all in this together.
We are all in this together. And hey, you know what? I'm gonna do a little shameless plug here before we wrap things up. We're almost at 2,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel. So for anyone who's watching that hasn't already done so, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, but especially hit that subscribe button would be awesome. We're closing in on 2,000. That's our next kind of milestone before we set some loftier goals for targets as we move forward. So we really appreciate if we can get ourselves up to that number. And also make sure you're signed up to our website, because we're going to have our energy realism report coming out here over the weekend. And like Andrew mentioned, in about a month here, we're going to have our fall picks for the year will be out as well. So lots of exciting stuff coming up from us. And we're looking forward to what should be a very exciting fall.
Yeah, I mean, there's 7,000 subscribers on our website, so 5,000 of you got to sign up on our YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. Get to it, guys.
Anyways, anyone, enjoy the weekend. Hit that like and subscribe, and mention it to a friend as well if you like the stuff we're doing.
Take care, everyone. Cheers.